guys, it's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free discussion over the first 3 books in the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, which include Fallen Kingdoms, which I gave a 3 out of 5 stars, Rebel Spring, which I gave a 3.5 out of 5 star, and Gathering Darkness, which I feel will sit at a 3.5 star as well. So Fallen Kingdoms is a fantasy novel following this one continent called Mythica, and within the continent of Mythica there are 3 separate kingdoms. One is Limeros, the northern frozen tundra. You have Central Pelagia, which is a barren wasteland. They are recognized highly for their vineyards, and a lot of the country is suffering extreme poverty. And we have the southernmost kingdom of Oranos, which is the very temperate climate. They have a very rich, very excessive society. We're following 4 main points of view from across those 3 kingdoms. We follow the prince and princess of the northernmost kingdom of Limeros. We follow a simple boy who is the son of a vineyard owner in Pelagia, and then we follow the princess of the southernmost kingdom, Oranos. Basically, the entire problem, the entire war of this continent is kickstarted by an event that happens within the first 50 pages of this book. Caught me so off guard, and I don't want to spoil it for somebody else by saying what it is. So there's an event that happens in Pelagia at the very beginning of this book. Because of the witnesses of that event, it kickstarts a war between the 3 kingdoms. So it's definitely a series that's filled with a lot of politics, war, and deceit, and I really enjoyed all those aspects of it. There's also this elemental magic system that's brewing. All we know is that the magic has been missing from this land for millennia, to the point where their land is basically going to become a barren wasteland across the entire continent. There's this prophecy that states that when the sorceress from Millennia Gold is reborn into the mortal world, the magic system will be able to rebloom. I really enjoyed the magic system a whole lot more than really anything else. A lot of fantasy novels take place after the big war, and there is that one dictator type king ruling over the entire populace. This kind of starts a year before that. What happens leading up to that big war and that big takeover? How does that ball get rolling? What causes that? And the big war, the big upset, doesn't happen until the end of the book. Because of that, I felt like it took a little bit longer for it to get rolling, because I wasn't as invested in the Fallen Kingdoms as I had hoped to be. I was really hoping that this book was going to grip me the same way a Throne of Glass did. I'm really looking for another wonderful high fantasy long series like Throne of Glass. Unfortunately, I don't know if this will end up being that. I feel like the first book is definitely a case of just overhype. People have been raving about this book series now for 5 years, and so they're basing all of their opinions and their praise on 5 years worth of material. Where the series is now is not where it was in book 1. It doesn't deserve the same recognition as it is now, because it's a much more expansive, elaborate world. It wasn't what I expected it to be, and that just kind of upset me. Additionally, people say that character deaths happen very often in the series, and I definitely agree with that. Character deaths happen often, frequently, and pretty much with no remorse. And there are some really fantastic twists and turns that happen in the story, but I felt myself not really caring about the twists and the turns and the deaths. Even though I was surprised and taken off guard by them, I didn't really end up caring in the end, and I couldn't really figure out why while I was reading the first book. But once I finished Rebel Spring and watched a couple of reviews, I'm really able to figure out why I couldn't find myself caring about these character deaths or these revelations that I felt like should be a big deal. It's very beat you over the head with every single little detail. And I'm not stupid. I can figure things out for myself, and I just don't like it. It's very plain, it's very dry, doesn't have any unique quality to it in any way. I don't need flower writing by any means. This just had nothing unique or gripping about it. She overuses exposition. There are unique and individual things to her world that she has a right to explain, but by the middle of book 2 and book 3, you do not need to explain to me what Elementia is, what a Watcher is, what the crystals are. We've been talking about these things now for 1,200 pages. I get it. And it's just really frustrating because it makes me feel like the books are at arm's length. She won't let me into the story. She won't let me into the characters' lives, into the world, because she's pushing me away, because she wants to handhold me through the whole freaking story. Because of that, I find these very hard to rate, because I like the actual concept and the characters. I just don't like the way it's delivered to me. I think that it's done so blandly. Also, there are so many times where she just skips time. Fast forwards through relationship building very quickly, and it makes me upset. For example, there is this tour that 2 of the characters go on in Rebel Spring, and we hear about the tour and how they don't want to go on it, and then the tour is summed up in 1 paragraph. We hear about it for the whole beginning of the book. They complain and whine about it the whole time, and then we don't even get to see the tour. That was such a missed opportunity for some wonderful relationship building between those two characters, for some wonderful character development, and she just threw it away. Happened again in book 3. The same two characters were on a boat ride together, and there was another wonderful chance for banter and development because they're really entertaining together, and she summarized it in a sentence. It makes me so mad. I feel like the sexual tension between these two characters could be so much better. Like, it's there, but it could be better if she wrote it differently. It's just too expository. It's too tell. She tells you everything. She never shows you anything. It's just tell, 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 tell. There's no showing. And the showing part is the best part about show and tell. Like, you can tell me you have a cute puppy all you want, but unless you bring the puppy into class, I don't really care how cute the puppy is. I want to see how cute the puppy is. Because of that, I keep docking stars because I just want more from them. I think that she could do more, and she doesn't. She just keeps giving you exposition over exposition over exposition, and it frustrates me. However, in the 3rd book, we get a much larger expansion on the magic system in this world, background and history of it, which is super interesting, and I cannot wait to see how that unfolds. I'm really drawn into that magic storyline and the history of it because it's super interesting. It's evolved so much already. It's only the 3rd book, so I can only imagine where it goes from here, but the characters I'm just not as invested in as I would like to be. I have very strong negative feelings towards certain characters. I'm not a huge fan of Lucia. She is a spoiled brat. It took me until about 3/4 of the way through this book to start to feel for Madness, because I like sarcastic, witty, asshole-like characters. It's one of my favorite traits of male characters, but Magnus is just mean. There's no humor to Magnus. I don't think he's funny. He's deadpan, very emotionless a lot of the time, although there's emotions raging inside of him that we know of as the reader, and he won't act on because he wants to be a disgusting, despicable human being. And anytime he has a chance to be a honorable human being, he shoves it down like it's the plague. Like, how dare I feel feelings and feel remorse and guilt? That's bad. He's a tortured soul, but he's just like not even a likable tortured soul for most of the book because I don't think he's very well written. This book really made me like him more because his storyline started becoming more invested in Cleo's, and I really like Cleo. Cleo reminds me a little bit of Selena from Throne of Glass. They're both fighters to the very last day. They're both kind of sassy, very outspoken, and I really like Jonas. But I just don't think Jonas gets enough page time in this book. Like, we need some more Jonas. I really like him. I'm definitely planning to continue the series. I want to see where it goes. I want to see if I become any more invested in it. It's just Morgan Rhodes' writing style. It has nothing to do with the story, the characters. I feel confident saying that I could be much more invested in this if it weren't for the writing style, to be honest. If any of you have read this and feel the same way, let me know, because I only ever hear positive things about this series. I'd like to know if anybody else felt the same way that I did. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!